Yo, what's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Cork It podcast. My name is Kyle, and I'm joined here by
JJ.
Dominic Contini.
And first of all, welcome our newest member of the Cork It podcast, Dominic Contini here. He's going to be joining us for lots of different extra content, especially during the summer. And then when we head back to school, he'll still be around. He'll be putting some extra content out there for us, sparingly, but he'll be a part of the team. So with that being said, we can go to a little around the league. So biggest news right now, NBA playoffs. We just saw the wrap-up of the Eastern and Western Conference Finals these past week. Warriors with quick work of the Mavericks, and the Heat taking it all the way to 7 games with the Celtics before ultimately losing. And so now the finals is set. We've got the Warriors versus the Boston Celtics. Warriors have home court advantage, if I'm correct.
Yep, better record.
And it should be interesting. Jason Tatum with Eastern Conference Finals MVP, Steph with Western Conference Finals MVP, and we've got quite the matchup on our hands. I always said, from the start about the Eastern Conference, Western Conference, people were like, who do you want to win? Who do you want to win? I was like, well, I probably want to see the Heat win the ring most because of Jimmy Butler, and they probably have the smallest window for a championship out of the 4 teams left.
I would say that.
Yeah.
Smallest window? They're super deep.
They are super deep, but I'm saying Jimmy's not gonna.
Their team.
Jimmy is their team, and it's also
they have a lot of stuff that can still develop. Like Tyler Hero wasn't fully healthy that series.
Yeah, no, Tyler. That's what affected the series definitely. But kind of like what Kyle was just saying. They're.
Actually, I guess out of the 4 teams, they did have the smallest.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Yeah.
Is out of the 4 teams there, they had the smallest window for a championship. So I wanted them to win it most badly. But I always said that I think that out of those 4 teams there, the best matchup would have been Warriors-Celtics in the final. So I'm excited for that. Should be a lot of fun. Outside of NBA news, we've got the NHL conference final set. We've got the Rangers and the
Tampa Bay Lightning.
And then the Avalanche and the Oilers in the West. And so that should be a lot of fun. The Rangers have been so interesting to watch. I saw a stat, and it said that was their 5th straight elimination game win.
Wow.
So that's pretty insane. They came back from a 2-0 deficit last series. In their first series, they came back from a 3-1 deficit against Pittsburgh. So they have been very interesting to watch. And, in that Game 7 the other night, it wasn't even close.
Mm-hmm.
They just came out right away and just started firing, especially away. That was such a way to win the game.
The Rangers being good in hockey make hockey better. Especially the same thing with the Knicks in basketball. Because, a lively crowd at MSG is phenomenal.
The tough thing about the Knicks, though, is that they had a fluke season that one year.
That wasn't a fluke. They
belonged in the playoffs for sure. I'm not saying that they didn't belong that one year.
They should have won that series against Trae Young.
I think they should have. It was just.
Come on, JJ.
It's kind of tough.
They should have.
Well, you're wearing a Knicks jersey.
No, I know.
But it's so interesting to see, especially. I do love when the Knicks are good at basketball, but. The only reason I say that season was a fluke was just because the next season after, Julius Randle played horribly after winning
and COVID was involved too. So
yeah, that's true. It's tough, and
that whole year is a weird year, especially and the year before with the bubble. So
yeah, that is true. Wait, wasn't this just?
No, it was just last year.
Last year
when they got
smacked.
Yeah,
when they got beat
last year and then the year before the bubble.
It wasn't. It was the year after the bubble.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Oh,
last
COVID's
year,
being weird. Well, I was talking about this year they've been bad.
This year they were bad.
But last year they played Hawks in the playoffs.
Last played the Hawks in the bubble, and then the year before that was the bubble, and they weren't in the bubble.
Well, yeah, but that's because they still had Kristaps Porzingis as one of their top players.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You were just confused. Is
No,
that right?
I'm not confused. I was just saying the reason I said it was a fluke year, but then you brought up COVID this year.
Well, yeah, because they were playing during COVID. It wasn't full capacity.
Okay, I guess. Yeah, if you're bringing crowd into it, yeah, I guess. I think it'll be interesting. I think they do need to make some moves this offseason because I think that 11th draft pick isn't going to help them out too much.
I never understand that either. What player doesn't want to play in New York? Come on. I would love to.
Well, I bet Mo Bamba goes there in the offseason.
Yeah.
That would be a good pick.
There was Mo. It was also Donovan Mitchell.
But I heard that the Jazz aren't even considering a trade with New York. But what's the package there?
Barrett and someone.
Yeah, it would have to be Barrett, but I don't know. They're talking about Heat if they do a package around Hero.
That's interesting.
Well, I
think-
mean,
Yeah. I didn't consider Hero going there, but that would be
well,
interesting.
I mean,
to see
after
him
scoring 20 a game off the bench, like
there. Yeah,
team
no,
might throw the bag on him, especially because he already said that he like wants to start and he like thinks it's like about time that he starting. I
This
guess.
offseason, I think, can be very interesting.
I think it should be interesting. So that's just my quick little around the league. Not just those were the two
Baseball's
major things.
still
I wanna hit on.
early, so.
Yeah, baseball's still pretty early. Although the Reds, I don't remember. I think this might have been last week or 2 weeks. They won 20-5,
Yeah,
and they're doing decent. Like I looked at their record and I was like, they're actually kind of.
They'll go on different spurts. Like they'll win a
Yeah.
couple
Yeah.
games and lose a couple, but they
Yeah.
also threw a no-hitter and lost. So let's be honest here.
Yeah, I mean, I just remember because I was like, this is the worst team in baseball, and like a couple weeks later, and then they like won 20-5, and I was
Yeah.
like, dang.
Wait,
It's
the
kinda
Reds,
crazy.
your guys' teams too?
Yeah.
Okay.
My dad grew up a huge Johnny Bench fan.
Oh, same with mine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's cool. Reds fans.
Yeah.
Yeah, so baseball is still pretty early. I think football's just starting OTAs.
I'm just saying this NFL season.
Yeah.
I have a lot of hype for. Like,
Really?
I think it's gonna be a lot of fun.
It's gonna be.
Yeah, there's definitely
fun
going to be a
season.
lot of fun. It's going to be interesting because
There's so many storylines.
oh yeah, for sure. I think something that I think is interesting, and I want to talk about this a little bit, was I think that the NFL, I don't think they'd do this, but do you think with the way that the talent is being stacked in like divisions, like the way that the AFC North is super stacked and the AFC West is
You're
super
saying
stacked,
a realignment.
like not even a realignment, but like the playoffs, like wave the winning your division gets you in?
No.
Because my thing
I think
is
that's
like,
what makes the NFL playoffs so special.
you think so?
Because you get like a Titans or a Texas team that wins that poor division, and they get a chance against the top. And the same thing with like the NFC East the other
Yeah,
year. Like,
but
every team had a chance that final week in the NFC East because how bad it was.
But let's say, for example, you would rather have a, like, for lack of a better example,
like
like
a second
like
place team
like
get
a
cut out because
like a 9-8 AFC West or NFC West team. Or no, hold on.
AFC West.
Yeah, no,
Broncos,
hold on.
Chiefs.
I'm trying to think of the example in the AFC, like who the worst. Okay, so the AFC South would be the worst division.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But they'd even have the Titans win it, so I guess it's not that great of an example. But I guess for lack of a better example, like, would you rather see like
A division winner get
a
ahead
division
of a team
winner
that
get
was
ahead of a team,
second
like
place team in their division?
right, like a division winner that won? Let's say for lack of a better example, let's say that the Titans go out and win 10 games next season.
Mhm.
Okay.
Okay, and they win the division because the AFC South is horrible. And then let's say that the Broncos and the Chargers
Are 9-8.
the Chiefs all win like up there, like
Mhm.
10, 11 games,
Okay.
right? Would you like would you
just
be
how the
like
dice-
would you like be
It's just how the
bummed?
dice rolls.
Yeah, would you be like bummed to like miss out on seeing like a Chargers or a Broncos make the playoffs over?
I'd be
like,
bummed, but like
Yeah.
that's just life.
it's just life. I mean, it's the way the NFL has been forever. So like,
Yeah.
I think that's what makes the NFL playoffs so special. And like the NFL has been king for
Mhm.
all sports for a reason. So I think like it wouldn't matter that much. It's sad. It would be sad to see, but I mean, especially with the Broncos and maybe not the Broncos, the Chargers. Herbert's gonna be here for a while, so
Yeah.
Mhm.
they're not gonna go away.
You think NFL is the king of all sports?
Yeah, you can see it in the ratings.
Okay.
In America or the world?
In America,
Okay,
soccer
okay,
soccer is
okay,
king of all
okay,
sports.
okay.
I mean, let's be honest.
Also,
That's what I'm excited for. World Cup
Yeah.
in the fall.
Yeah, that should be fun.
England versus the United States on Black Friday.
That's gonna be crazy.
It's gonna be fun.
I mean, I also like the way that basketball is rising in world like sports and stuff.
But like, I've seen this a lot on Twitter, like a lot more than usual. They're saying the NBA like is rigged.
Yeah, I mean, I actually kind of like some of those
Conspiracies.
like
Oh.
rigged stuff in the NBA, like where they think that like the Cavs definitely got like rigged in. Was it 20? Which was the year that they won the lottery? I think it was 2014. They won the
You mean-
lottery. Yeah, it was 2014.
Well, there's always
they
that story.
They won the lottery with like it's like 12 or 13
They won it
best
back-to-back
odds,
years.
and they won it back-to-back years.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
But there's always that story of like the Knicks when they got Patrick Ewing, is that their card and the
the
bowl
like
was
freezing
was
yeah.
folded.
Oh, okay. I heard
Yeah.
the one about the cold envelope. Like
Yeah.
one of them was like left in a freezer, so like he knew because he picked it up and it would be cold. I think that's like funny. I do think that like little.
But like a
conspiracies
draft, like you
that.
don't know how these players are gonna be in the NBA. But
Right.
like I've seen like stuff where like refs go into games
Mm.
after being told like, hey, we're gonna try our best to get this team to win. But like, there's always so much you can do. Like if you're afraid that it's rigged, go out and win the game. And I mean, it's gonna be a little bit of that, I think, in all of these professional sports because they want to make the most amount of money. But then again, like if the NBA wanted to make the most amount of money this year, they would have had Brooklyn and the Lakers try to make the finals. So I think the NBA is still doing great. I mean, there's the amount of talent in the league right now is ridiculous. And
Oh,
there's
yeah.
a good piece on every team. Well, most
Yeah.
teams, but
Well, yeah, I feel like every team's got kind of something to hold on to and be excited about, which I think like is really, really good because you didn't always used to have that. Because you used to have some teams be just absolutely atrocious and like no like rising star or
Like the
potential all star
Bobcats.
on them. Yeah, like the Bobcats or like I'm trying to think or like what the Cavs used to be in 2012. Like every team kind of has like a rising star or like a potential all star depending on team success. I think, I mean, even like teams like the Pistons that didn't have much. I mean, well, first of all, you draft Cade Cunningham, but then second of all, I mean, Jeremy Grant still like outplayed like his value really well in Detroit.
Yeah.
And I think Sadiq Bey really like played up to his potential. I think in Houston, like Christian Wood did the same thing. Jayshawn Tate, yep, he did really well. I would say even Orlando's got like Jonathan Isaac and Cole Anthony and Mo Bamba. I mean,
And they
Mo
have the
Bamba's
first
not
pick, too.
super good. Yeah, and they've got the first pick now. So I would say, I mean, even like the most like impoverished franchise, like the Kings, like still have
He's
De'Aaron
got
Fox and
Sabonis.
Sabonis now.
Mhm.
But so I do think that the NBA is in a fantastic position with what teams are right now. I mean, even like OKC's got SG and they got a bright young core, and I mean, look at those top 5 teams that got lottery picks, and like all of them have like, well, first of all, they all get a top 5 pick now, but they also like all have incredible like young stars to be excited about. So
Yeah.
should be. I mean, the NBA is in a fantastic spot right now.
Mhm.
My thing is that like I said this like last year or a couple weeks ago on the podcast, we were talking about tanking and like how bad you want to be for how long because like any of those teams could like probably like jump and try to compete for a play-in spot right away if they like make moves for vets. But in reality, like there's and I think OKC might do this next year, which I hope they don't, because I think if OKC can get a good shot at number 2 and like get a good guy and who can develop a little bit and kind of compete right off the bat, like they can just play their games and potentially get to that 10 seed. But in reality, like people are like, do you think it's worth it to like actually try and like compete really hard, especially with the way that the East and the West are going to be completely like stacked like with talent? Because you look at those 2 leagues, like
That's another thing now. Like the conferences are equally stacked now.
right, like right now, like they're very, very like there's a lot of like gridlock kind of in the playoff positions because like it's gonna like because what I said, and this kind of generated a little controversy on Instagram, was I was like, if you look at the West right now and you think, okay, look at these teams that made the playoffs, if any like one team that missed the playoffs, so like let's say like the Kings really do go win now mode, or the Pelicans, now that they have CJ McCollum, really go at it, and the Clippers get healthy, right? Those are 3 teams that could potentially replace 3 teams in that top 8. So then you got to look at that top 8 and be like, which one of these teams is falling out? And to me, like, it doesn't seem feasible for any of them to fall out other than the Jazz if they move Mitchell. Because if the Jazz move Mitchell, they're not going to make the playoffs next year. I mean, you can credit their coaching staff, you can credit the way their team is built, but they would not make the playoffs without Donovan Mitchell. And so if you pick the Jazz, okay, that's one, but a healthy Clippers team is an automatic bid, right? And then if you want to assume that the Lakers could potentially slip in next year if LeBron's healthy, but it
doesn't matter if LeBron's healthy. If they don't do anything this offseason, they're not making the playoffs.
Right. It's just it's so interesting too, because then you're like, okay, so which one of these teams is gonna miss? Is Timberwolves gonna miss again? Are they gonna go down?
I think
like
it
to
depends
me,
what they do. I mean, you're completely right.
and this was my argument. And I want to kind of like reiterate it, is that if this is why I said it, is I was like, I think that if they stay stagnant and like can't get, and like let's say Murray has more setbacks with his injury, like the Nuggets could slip out, because like they needed Jokic to have an MVP caliber season with their team right now.
Yeah.
To be the 6th seed. And people are like, oh, well, they were the 6th seed, but they had like a good record. And I was like, they were 2 games from the play-in.
Yeah.
They were only 2 games above the Timberwolves in that 7th seed, and that's play-in. So in my opinion, like, especially with the way that teams are going to try and jump in, if you stay stagnant right now, you could slip out. So that's what I was saying. And I do think the NBA is in a fantastic position for that, because especially in the East, I mean, teams are going to try and go crazy, like, in the postseason, especially with, like, Cleveland's going to be really, really good. I mean, Charlotte's going to... Especially in the East, I mean... Charlotte's going to be good. Cleveland's going to be good. You're going to have a lot of teams. Like, I mean, the Hawks are probably one of those teams that if they don't get another piece around Trae Young, will probably just stay where they were at and maybe slip a little bit. I mean, it's really going to be dependent on what happens. I mean, it should be interesting if the Bulls, like if they lose Zach LaVine, they won't be back. So...
Lonzo's healthy, and DeMar and Lonzo play well together. I can see him being back, especially with Vucevic.
Yeah, maybe, but with the way that the East is going to stack up, especially if like Detroit gets a good guy at 5 and they want to start competing.
Detroit's not hopping the Cavs.
They're not hopping the Cavs, no, but I think
hopping Atlanta.
You don't think they're hopping Atlanta or the Hornets? Yeah, maybe.
Not the Hornets.
It depends.
It should be interesting. I don't think they're jumping anyone, but I think they're going to be improving, and.
Well,
I mean,
improving, Kyle. Come on now.
That's true. But it should be interesting. I think that.
I mean, if you just look at the Grizzlies, for example,
right?
Like, they're gonna keep putting all their chips in. I mean, if you look at their team, all they have is job, but they have all those core pieces around them, and they play so well together, and that's why they were the 2 seed. Like before last year, if someone would have said the Grizzlies at the end of the year were going to be the 2, no one would have thought.
No, I wouldn't have believed it.
Yeah.
Especially because they were in the play-in.
Just because of how big a jump Ja took.
Yeah.
No one would have believed that.
No, not at all. And it is something that's very interesting that I think that the NBA does really well is they've got a lot of just talent. With the way that the talent is stacking up, I couldn't give you an estimate of who's going to be in the playoffs next year and accurately tell you. Because, I mean, the NFL you kind of can because not that there's like...
There's certain divisions you can't really.
There's certain divisions you can't script out.
Most teams you can see.
But yeah, you can pick the division winners like out of
most division winners.
No. What I was saying is you could pick the division winners out of like 4 of the 6 of the 8 divisions and be kind of accurate with it. Because in my opinion, I think actually no, I'll say 5 of the 8 divisions. You can kind of guess and get it right.
Who's winning the NFC North?
That's one that I can guess. I couldn't guess NFC North. I couldn't guess AFC West, maybe. You could guess the Chiefs, and you probably wouldn't be wrong.
Buddy, come on now. They lost Tyreek Hill.
Yeah, so, okay, then there's another one.
I'll take the field in the AFC West over the Chiefs.
Okay, well, then there's another one that I couldn't guess. So I couldn't guess the AFC North, the AFC West. But I feel like I could
make... You can't guess AFC North? Actually, yeah, it's Ravens-Bengals toss-up.
Yeah, I feel like I could make... Even the Browns will be in contention with that.
I mean, Deshaun Watson's back in stuff today.
Yeah, I saw that today.
Wait, what?
There's a 23rd now. Or 24th.
Lawsuit.
There's another one.
Interesting.
Baker's gonna come out with something on a chip on her shoulder.
Probably.
So like I
he's not playing for the Browns though.
Well, I think he might start the season.
He'll start the season if Deshaun can't play. If he gets suspended.
If Deshaun can't play, he'll start the season.
Knowing Roger Goodell, Deshaun Watson is going to get suspended early August.
I haven't seen anything to that notion where that Baker would be
Roger
number
Goodell
2.
said it in a press conference.
No, not about Deshaun. I'm saying like Baker
would want to stay.
There.
If he knows he has a starting spot.
But the organization wouldn't want him to be like they've been looking for a trade for him, but no one wants to trade with him because
the organization doesn't want him. But most fans of Browns, I think, want Baker.
But I don't think the organization is gonna keep him. Like I don't think he'll be.
Well,
on the team.
The divisional or the organization will probably try to keep him, but he might just sit and not play.
No. They've been looking.
I don't think he sits.
They've been trying to. Well, they want to get. They need to get rid of him because they've already like signed like 1 through 3 in their quarterback room.
Mm-hmm.
And I know Deshaun and Brissett both got guaranteed money, so like they need to get rid of Baker.
Yeah. It should be interesting. I don't know. But so back to my guessing divisions.
If Baker knows there's a starting spot, he's not going to sit out.
Well, I feel like he might sit out just because of the way they like kind of did him.
Well, I think that's something that Baker would love. He goes out week 1 and throws 400 yards.
Dude, I would love for that. I'm a huge Baker supporter. I really like Baker Mayfield, but I just feel like after being like kind of mistreated by the organization, I don't know how badly he'd want to come back.
I think he gets cut before he starts.
Oh.
For the Browns? I think he gets cut before he starts for the Browns.
Cut?
Yes.
Cut.
You rather would have
I'm just saying the organization, if they wanted Baker to like still be like, why would they sign 1 through 3 if they still wanted Baker to be like a part of the organization?
I mean,
like they don't.
They want Baker to be a part of the organization.
No, they don't. They don't.
They don't want him since they have Watson. But if they don't have Watson, they want him to be a part of the organization.
I mean,
all depends on what happens with Watson.
Seeing. Yeah, but I mean,
they would have gotten rid of Baker by now if they knew Watson was going to play.
No, they wouldn't have because they signed Deshaun to a guaranteed contract. So when they're going to these other teams and they're like, oh, give us a first round for him, they're like, no, we're not going to do that, obviously, because they know that they have the upper hand in the discussions because they've already signed Deshaun. They've already just signed Brissett. They've already signed Dobbs. And so, like, why would they give up a first-round pick or, like, just something with high value for something that's low value to the Browns? You know what I mean? So, like, they're either going to be like, no, we'll only give you a 5th-rounder, and the Browns are like, okay, well, that's not what we want. We want a first-rounder, just for example. And so, like, that's what's been, like, stalling it. And so it's coming to a point, especially with the cap, he's going to be, is it 18? 18 or 15 against the cap, I forget.
I mean, I still feel like cut is so extreme because you're basically saying that if Deshaun gets suspended, the Browns would, like, let's say with the amount of, allegations, let's say it's 6 games, right? Mm-hmm. You're basically saying that the Browns would be willing to just completely write off those first 6 games. Because I'm sorry, you're not winning with Jacoby Brissett under center.
You might win a couple.
You might win 1 or 2 of the 6, but you're basically just totally giving up.
If you want any shot at the AFC North, you need Deshaun Watson under center.
Or you need Baker Mayfield. Because if you want to win those first 6 games, you need Baker Mayfield. He's not going to win. He's not going to win all 6, but he wins 4 out of 6. He probably wins 4 out of 6.
Jacoby Brissett has done it before. He's won games.
Right, but under Bill Belichick's offense.
When he was at the Colts too.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, yeah. Okay. I could see that then. I mean,
but also it just doesn't make sense long term. Why would they would hold on to Baker for the first 6 games and then?
Because you woke up feeling dangerous.
And then sit him down.
Here's my thing.
You woke up feeling dangerous.
Here's my thing. And this is like I hate to bring it back to OKC, but this is what OKC consistently does with vets. They bring in vets, play them, and then they like raise their trade value by playing in that situation, and then they trade them away for something more. And I'm saying the same thing could happen with Baker. So like, let's say that Baker comes out first 6 games, completely goes off. Like let's say like 350 yards, 3 or 4 touchdowns a game. For the first
3 or 4 touchdowns a game.
Well, let's say he goes off, right?
If he doesn't turn the ball over, that's going off.
Okay, but let's say he goes off on those first 6 games. Now the Browns, Baker Mayfield and the Browns already have a poor relationship. Baker wants out, but now almost every team in the league that has like a quarterback they're unsure about is on the Browns' phone right now, like offering like a lot of draft capital and some current players to get Baker Mayfield on their team. And let's say maybe it's like a team that's let's say it's a team that's over exceeding expectations, right? Let's say it's like a Colts who are like, look, we just traded for Matt Ryan, but he is the only weak part of our offense right now. Like,
I think they sit him down.
But in the Colts next year.
Well, no, I think he'll be fine. But I'm saying, like, for lack of a better example, like, let's say a team that just traded for like a win now quarterback, who the quarterback is now the weakest part of their offense, right?
Yeah.
Just for
I can see that like with Russell Wilson.
Right, Russell Wilson. But I feel like after trading for Russell Wilson, you wouldn't trade for another quarterback mid-year. No. I'm saying it would be like a Saints with Jameis Winston. and they look at
Or
Jameis
Dolphins
Winston.
with Tua.
Drew Brees is coming back.
Drew Brees is
No,
coming back.
it's not.
That was funny.
But
Actually, I like that better. Saints with Jameis, right? Let's say the Saints look at their offense and they're like, wow, we've got a fantastic offense, and Jameis Winston's just not that dude. I could see the Saints giving up some draft capital to get an over-excelling Baker Mayfield to then, try and compete for that
I think Baker does
NFC
well in that
South.
offense too.
Yeah. I mean, it's just that's like my examples. I think that if Baker wants to play those 6 games to kind of show what he can do, and then the Browns would want to keep him there, because if Baker can show that he's still got it, then the draft or the trade capital for him goes up, like the trade value skyrockets.
Yeah, I get that, but I don't see that happening. I think they either sit him down this season, like they just tell him not to come in, because what's he actually going to contribute to the organization? Like that he's not part of their long-term plans. Like I could understand if they were like, okay, we're bringing in Deshaun because Deshaun is that dude. Like before last season when he didn't play, like you could argue he was a top 3 quarterback, and so him coming available like was definitely not something that happens every other day.
He's coming off
so
he hasn't played in a year.
Yeah, but like.
But when he was playing it, he hasn't played in a year.
But anyways, like if Baker was still part of those long-term plans, they wouldn't have gone and signed Jacoby Brissett or Dobbs, because they would have been like, hey, Baker, how do you feel about being number 2? Because we want to keep you around as a second string.
But I think the Browns now also have their best receivers since Baker has gotten there. I think Amari Cooper has topped any receiver Baker has had.
I kind of agree. I mean, when they got Odell did not excel in that wide receiver room.
Amari Cooper's a dog.
Amari Cooper would be probably the best. I mean, talent-wise, I don't know if he's the best, because they got Odell right after New York. Yeah. So it was like
after an injury too. Though.
True, that is true. I really like their wide receiver room right now, though. So Browns should be interesting. But
their first 6 games. Their first 6 games, they go Jacksonville, Philly, Chicago, Panthers.
All 3 of those are winnable.
Jets, Panthers. Steelers.
Oh
that's easy.
They cakewalk that with Brissett.
Yeah, I don't. They don't cakewalk.
3 and 3 or 4 and 2.
They 3 and 3 with Brissett. I mean,
and the rest of their team.
I think
it's not like Brissett's by himself out there.
I think they win Chicago, and I think they win Jacksonville. But
easy, and
Philly. I don't know
Philly's
about Philly.
Toss-up.
Philly's a toss-up with Brissett.
Pittsburgh's a toss-up.
With Brissett.
We have no clue what Pittsburgh's gonna look like next year.
And who else was it?
It was Jacksonville, Philly, Chicago, Carolina, Jets.
Carolina's
Steelers.
a toss-up too.
Carolina's a toss-up, and then I would even say Jets is a toss-up.
The Jets have a lot of hype going.
It's also just it'll be.
Is it in New York or in Cleveland?
I think it's in New York.
Okay.
Well, Jets is only a toss-up because they got so much.
Or in New Jersey, but yeah.
They got so much, amazing draft picks, but also like at the same time, like you got Brissett under center. I'm sorry, like
Brissett has done it.
Brissett has done it. You're right. Brissett has done it. But
Brissett's a solid quarterback.
He's either tossing it to Amari Cooper or handing it off to Nick Chubb or Kareem Hunt.
Right, but I'm still saying that like I think that gives you the wins against Jacksonville and Chicago because their
defense has it. Like
I was going to say,
have
the Browns
not much
defense.
Yeah. Well, I know that's why I'm saying Jacksonville and Chicago.
All Brissett has to do is not turn it over.
Yeah,
but do you trust him?
Yeah.
To not turn it over.
Okay.
Yeah.
Against those 6 teams.
I'm saying, but I'm kind of with you. I think it's 3 and 3.
Okay, 3 and 3, 4 and 2.
But I think
that's a solid start.
I think it's 6 and 0 with Baker.
Whoa.
I'm sorry. I feel like with Baker, or 5 and 1. I'll say 5 and 1. I'll give him room. I'll give him room for one fluke game.
But
5 and 1.
All right.
I'm sorry that those teams are not good.
Right. They're not. But I'm.
Those teams are not good, and I feel like if you have,
Mayfield, Kyle.
And it is Baker Mayfield. So that's why I'm gonna say 5 and 1 because I'll give him one bad game out of those.
But
6.
Baker doesn't.
He doesn't have 6.
Dude, he could even have a bad game and
Baker
still win.
does not put pads and helmet on for the Cleveland Browns ever again.
Well, okay, that's fine.
That's never happened.
I mean, that's fine, but I'm saying if Baker Mayfield is playing those first 6
How
games.
can you say that right now?
This whole thing has been a big what if. What are you talking about? This entire conversation has been a huge what if.
No. Because I forget who it was. One of you guys said something like, I think the Browns want Baker to like come in and play for Deshaun.
Well,
Like
no,
that-
we
that's
just
not
said
happening.
he just said like if they don't move on from Baker.
They would have got
If
rid
they
of
don't
him by
if they
now.
don't move on, as in like if they don't trade him,
They
then
would have cut him by now if they didn't want him.
they
JJ,
sit him down.
they
sit
would
him-
have cut
They
him.
look for trades. They look for trades because like you
You're
never
not gonna
know what
get pieces
trades.
for Baker.
Okay.
You might get a 5th round pick, but
They either
Mm.
cut
What's a
him.
fifth
They
round
either cut him or they sit him down.
this
Yeah.
league is a quarterback league right now. There's not a lot of teams in this league that need a quarterback.
I just my bigger thing is that nobody wants Baker
Exactly.
All right. Well, that's fair.
And Baker
because
doesn't
if someone wanted
Baker doesn't want
they
to go
would've gone
anywhere
and
and
get
sit.
him.
Baker wants to go somewhere and play right away.
Yeah.
Baker doesn't want to sit. He'll sit
That's
for the
fair.
Browns. I can see that, but Baker
Like,
is
he would
Baker
sit for
is
the-
Cleveland.
He would sit for the Browns just because like he's still under contract there, and wouldn't like want to report and go in and see all the coaches that didn't want him and possibly see the owners and whoever that didn't want him. Like, so I guess, but like I mean, it would be kind of like a Deshaun situation where like Deshaun just was like, yeah, I'm not gonna play. Like just for example's sake, the Browns wanted Baker to come in and like be a backup or sub in for Deshaun. I don't think Baker wants to do that. Like he got disrespected.
What other
He got-
option does he have?
I mean,
to sit and wait till he's released? I mean, he's getting paid. He's getting paid no
Exactly,
matter
that's
what.
what I'm saying. If the Browns didn't want him that bad, they would have cut him already.
Yeah, that's
They would have bought him out.
fair. Yeah, but I mean, they also didn't want him bad enough to sign 3 quarterbacks.
What's wrong with having a quarterback room
I don't know.
in Cleveland?
Like,
I mean, it's not bad to have a quarterback room, especially when you know
It's Cleveland.
when you
Like,
know
they're
that
historically known for having a ton of quarterbacks every year.
it's also
No, I
it's
know,
also
but I
not
was-
bad having a large quarterback room, especially when the availability of your top 2 quarterbacks, assuming that Baker is one of them, is completely unknown. So like let's say for example, like if the Browns decide not to trade him or cut him or anything, and he just goes, yeah, I'm not gonna play. Well, then good thing we have Jacoby Brissett, right?
yeah, exactly.
So,
let's
I
leave
mean,
the conversation at that.
yeah.
Jacoby Brissett is that guy, and
He'll
he'll do enough to get him.
He's a solid backup.
I'll
Yeah.
give you that. I'll give
He's
you
a
that.
solid backup.
But like I said, I think there's only 2 divisions that you couldn't guess the winner for, and it's the AFC North and AFC West. Because I feel like AFC East will be the Bills, AFC South will probably be the Titans again, NFC West will be the Rams, NFC South will be the Bucks, NFC North will be the Packers. and-
NFC West will be the Rams. Will be the Rams.
Yeah.
Like you can say that 100%.
Well, it'll be the Rams or the Cardinals.
You're not putting San Francisco in there.
I mean,
Mm.
I'm just saying that like
No.
there's
I don't
more of
trust, I don't trust San Francisco
Why?
more. I don't trust them more than the Rams.
But that's what I'm saying. You can't just
the
say
Rams just won
easy.
a Super Bowl.
Yeah, and they picked up Bobby Wagner.
Yeah, and they just got better. They won the Super
Yeah.
Bowl and then got better. I just feel like
I'm not a big believer in the Rams.
okay. Also, to say this, these are also guesses. I'm just saying that I couldn't really make a strong guess for the AFC North or the NFC West and
Before-
be completely sure
Yeah.
of that guess and be like completely confident in that. And
Yeah.
I mean, maybe even the NFC East. I mean, I
Before
would like to just
Devontae-
say the Cowboys, but with Philly, I mean
Philly-
that
Philly
team
makes it a
I mean,
conversation.
I want to say the Cowboys like without a doubt in my mind, but you can't. But
Not this
But like
year.
with the AFC West adding Devontae Adams and
I feel like
Russell
that's
Wilson,
not
that made that conference, that made that division the best division in football.
Yeah.
The division before that was the NFC West. The NFC West was the
they
best.
did used to be the best, and now
They're not.
Seattle's a dumpster
There's-
fire.
Yeah.
And,
They're the second best.
and
Who's second?
AFC North,
I don't know. The NFC West has 3 teams.
AFC North has 3 teams.
Okay.
I'd say Browns, Bengals, Ravens are 3
Yeah.
teams to win the division.
Yeah.
The Browns have a chance to win the division.
I mean,
With
dude,
Deshaun?
we just
Even-
hold on,
even
hold
if-
on.
even if
we
he-
just went over this. The Browns
The
season is
Browns
a huge
aren't
what
beating-
if.
They're
The
not
Browns
beating Baltimore or Cincinnati. I'm sorry.
they'll split series with them.
Split series.
I could see it.
Baltimore.
They did it this year.
They won't
Baltimore-
split with
They
Baltimore.
split.
That
They
gets
split
Cincy
series with.
Cincy.
Didn't they split series with Cincy this year?
Yeah.
Who?
But Cincy,
The Browns.
Yeah,
What
they
do you mean?
did.
But it's Cincy. Since he went to the Super Bowl.
Cincy and Cleveland always split. Like, it's a known fact.
Okay, but
Okay.
like,
Johnny Manziel beat Cincy.
It's. I mean, I would say the AFC North is probably the second best in football. The AFC West is the best. I mean, in my opinion, I'm not a huge believer. I mean, I think San Francisco has a solid season, but they're not gonna win more games than the Rams or maybe even the Cardinals. Because I mean, people forget that before Kyler Murray got hurt, they were 7-0, and he was an MVP candidate. So I mean, we can say this all day, but in my opinion, I think the NFC North will probably go to the Rams. But I feel like the AFC, the NFC West will go to the Rams. But in my opinion, I could only not guess probably and be confident in my guess for the AFC North and the AFC West. I mean, the rest of them I could make a guess and be kind of confident in it.
All right,
That's what I'll say.
Let's talk basketball.
Yeah, I do want to talk basketball because I want to kind of get into this because we've seen a lot happening in the playoffs. We've seen a lot happening in the finals. There's a lot of speculation in the offseason. There's a lot of speculation in the draft right now.
About finals.
Let's talk about finals first. No, I'm just saying as a whole, but yeah, I do want to talk about finals. First off, let's get predictions.
Warriors in 6.
Celtics in 7.
Yeah, I'd probably go Warriors in 7. I think it gets to 7, but I mean it's gonna be so tough.
Warriors are ready in San Francisco.
They'll probably
Game 6.
Wouldn't it be in Boston? Game
No,
6.
Boston would be Game 7. Oh shit, you're right.
It's all good. No,
it'll be Boston Game 6.
Boston Game 6.
Yeah,
I feel
Game
like they probably win it in 7. I think that. Oh, I don't know. I really like Warriors in 6 because I mean, it's tough. What are your thoughts?
Celtics in 7. Like
This series would be so much better if the Warriors were still playing at Oracle. Oracle and TD Garden. Wow, immaculate.
But yeah. I mean,
The Warriors are the best team in basketball.
So who's the X factor for each team?
X factor for the Warriors is Andrew Wiggins,
okay,
I like
fair.
that.
for the Celtics,
Marcus Smart probably.
Or Williams.
I like that.
It's Al Horford. It is 100% Al Horford.
I'm a huge Al Horford guy.
He is definitely the X factor for that team.
He's playing Kevin Looney.
Oh, Kevon Looney's been insane though.
Yeah, Kevon Looney's good.
Well, not insane, but you know,
Like,
he's outplaying. He's
a
outplaying his value.
Yeah, he's been a great player.
Al
this
Horford has
playoffs.
too.
Yeah. I feel like the X factor though is definitely
Well,
Marcus Smart.
Yeah, never mind.
Because
Marcus,
we watched
that's
Marcus Smart blow back-to-back
Yeah.
games against who was it? Shoot,
Brooklyn. Or
no,
Milwaukee.
it was
No,
Milwaukee. He blew back-to-back games
Yeah.
against Milwaukee.
He turned the
Marcus
ball, yeah.
Smart sometimes he just like tries to make the Celtics his team and be that guy.
He did. He was that guy at Oklahoma State. You guys remember in college when he flipped
Yeah,
off
he
the-
was
Yeah.
actually that guy.
But like he can't do that now.
I know exactly.
I
like-
actually love when we see players like Marcus Smart and Pat Beverly, and we're like, he thinks he's him, but like he was at one point. Like
yeah.
when they're talking about how like Pat Bev averaged literally 40 points a game in high school.
Yeah.
Like he was that dude.
Yeah.
So it's funny, but
Well, even
I
he's
do
been,
agree.
like, Pat Bev says Chris Paul hates him because he dominated Chris Paul at LeBron's camp.
Oh,
He probably- yeah.
probably.
I mean, it's interesting. I do like the pick for Andrew Wiggins as X factor. I would also say I think Jordan Poole is an X factor.
He's gonna play well.
I
don't
think-
he's
I think-
the X factor.
Well, I think he's gonna play well, but it's just to the extent. You know what I'm saying? Because like he can put up like 15 a game, and that would be considered well. But if he goes off for like a 30-point game or something, and say like Clay has an off night, because Clay really starts performing at the very end of the series. So like let's say like game
That's-
1 or
This
2.
is finals Clay
That's
now.
what-
Yeah, but let's say game 1 or 2, Clay has like, 12, 13, 14 points. Jordan Poole is 30, right?
Possibly.
I mean,
This
it's
is
all
This
speculation.
is a big
right?
take,
It's all
but
just
I don't see Clay having less than 15 in any game.
oh, for real. See, I would say that, but we've seen LeBron have 11 points one time in a finals game. So,
we
What
don't,
game
we
was
don't need to
that?
talk about that.
but I mean that
It was against Jason Terry.
Oh yeah.
But
Scary Terry.
in my opinion, anything could happen in the finals. We could see Clay go off for 30 a game and win
Anything
Finals
can
MVP.
happen.
But we could also see him, just completely miss.
Yeah.
I would say is the Warriors have a better chance of like sweeping Boston, and Boston has sweeping.
Yeah, but that's just because the Warriors, they, like, if they get out in front, then they get out in front, and they're, like, if they kill you in the first quarter, then that's basically it
Yeah.
with the Warriors, just because,
Boston
especially
can't
at
climb
home.
back. And we saw that in the Miami.
Home. Oh, my goodness.
We saw that in the Miami series,
Especially
too.
at home, the Warriors will, if you give them a lead, they're not going to give it up.
The Warriors are better at coming back from behind than the Celtics are, too. Once the Celtics are down, they're down.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
You saw that in Miami. So
Oh, I mean, even when they were up.
I
my gosh.
think the difference is, though, that the Warriors don't have a Jimmy Butler. And
oh my
hold
goodness.
on, because no, they don't have a Jimmy
But they
Butler.
got Steph.
No, they don't have a Jimmy Butler type
Like a
player.
dog mentality.
Oh, wait.
I
Hold on.
guess,
Are you
where
going to
it's
say your
like-
thing about Jimmy Butler?
What?
Where you dislike how he would go off for 40 points
No,
one
no,
game
no,
and then
no,
have
no,
a
no,
horrible
no,
game the next game?
No, like
He
they
didn't have a
don't.
horrible
They
game.
don't.
No, he didn't.
No.
He said earlier in the playoffs, he was like yeah, Jimmy will
Usually-
go off for a game and then this next game he won't do too well. But then
That's
but then
usually what
he,
happens
he,
with him.
he
But then
tried calling
proved-
it because it was like 47, 9, and 8, and I was like, dude, he's going off, and you're like, he won't do it again. And the next night he had an incredible night. Too,
Yeah. So he proved me wrong in Game 7. Anyways, but they don't have a Jimmy Butler type player where it's kind of like just give me the ball and get out of my way.
Steph can be that.
Well, actually, I don't know. He doesn't have the same mentality that Jimmy has in that sense.
It's just finals Steph.
But in my
and
opinion,
Steph's playing for a finals MVP this time. So
I kind of do like.
When has he
that.
not been playing for a Finals MVP?
he's been playing to win. He wants to win this one too. But like on those finals, besides in 2015 when Andre Iguodala won, he had Kevin Durant every other one.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So like, you don't have an X factor like Andre Iguodala on this team. I mean, I
Right.
guess
But
I could see like
offensively
a Jordan Poole or
speaking,
Clay
the
finals
Warriors
MVP.
don't. It's just going to be a different series, and the Warriors don't have a Jimmy Butler type player where it's just like we're gonna give him the ball and like
Get out of the way.
exactly like they've got guys who it's like, oh yeah, get him the ball, but it's not necessarily
Okay,
like
that's
get
fair.
him the
And
ball
Boston
get out of
has
their
that
way.
going, too.
And Boston has two of those players. Yes. Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown are both can be that player. Very
Tatum more
easily.
so, but Brown, yes.
Yeah, but I mean, we also saw Jaylen Brown go for what was it? I think it was in a loss.
Yeah, you're right.
It was
I know
like
what you're talking about.
he went off for like 40 something.
No,
Mhm.
Brown and Tatum are the best. Not best.
I think they're a better duo going in like this
Who's the
going
best
into
duo in
this
the
year.
NBA?
Well,
The
no,
best duo in the
going
NBA.
into this series, I think Jaylen Brown and Tatum are a better duo than Clay and Steph.
Yeah, but
Yeah, I agree. With
Clay
that.
and Steph have had a lot of wear and tear on the body in the past couple years.
Yeah, but that still makes them a better duo.
Okay.
The best in the NBA though is kind of crazy.
Best in the NBA. Shoot.
I guess a
Um,
healthy
I mean,
KD and
a healthy
Kyrie.
KD and Kyrie probably, or next season, a healthy Shea Gilgeous-Alexander and Josh
Oh,
Giddey.
Or Kawhi and PG.
Kawhi and PG. Oh my gosh, people forgot how dangerous Kawhi was.
They were like a couple games away from the finals.
They choked.
They
Yeah.
did kind of choke.
They didn't.
They
Kinda,
were
they
one
choked.
miraculous play away from a game 7.
Did they
With
lose?
DeAndre Ayton.
Yeah.
Did they
that's true.
lose?
They did lose.
They lost. And we also
Exactly.
saw how the Suns were frauds.
Yeah. Frauds.
So they lost to frauds?
Yeah. I saw a tweet that was like, it was they released the odds for Finals MVP, and this dude
Dev's number
tweeted
one.
out, and he was like, Andrew Wiggins at plus 2,500 isn't too bad in my opinion. He's like something to look out for. And a dude quote tweeted and he goes, "This is why Las Vegas has gold buildings."
Yeah. Wiggins, like
He could.
Wiggins,
Ah,
that
man.
would
He
be
could be the
it would be an
Iguodala.
it would be an Andre Iguodala type situation.
It would be a situation in which he doesn't deserve it.
Who's guarding Jason Tatum?
It's going to be Wiggins.
Or is it going to be
putting
Dre?
Clay-
Is it going to be Dre?
It'll be Dre.
No, because he's going
It
to be
might
on
be
Horford
Dre.
or
Dre's
Williams.
going to be on Horford?
It's
Their
gonna be
best
Dre.
defender?
It's gonna be Dre.
on Tatum.
I would put Dre on Tatum. I would put Dre on Tatum, Wiggins on Williams, and then Looney on Horford.
Who's guarding Brown? Clay?
Clay,
Clay's
Clay
got
on Brown.
defense.
Clay's,
Yeah,
Clay's got defense.
yeah.
He'll guard Brown.
Yeah.
And then it's
I like
just
that.
you
Since
put
his
you put
injury,
Steph against
he-
Marcus Smart and
I-
you're fine.
I like this series
his,
a lot.
His
It's gonna be
defense
a lot of
hasn't.
fun.
His defense has not been
You
the
just
same
naming
since he was injured.
you just naming those matchups just made me think like this series will be.
This series is gonna be fun.
Wiggins is getting put on Tatum.
No, dude,
I
you
wouldn't
can't
do
guard
that. I
Jason
wouldn't do
Tatum.
that. He's athletic, but he doesn't have
Draymond
the
Green is one of the
defensive
best
knowledge.
defenders of all time. So, like, you got to put him on Jason Tatum.
I mean,
He's a top 5. Come on now.
ooh.
He's top 5 all time.
Ooh.
He's top 5 defender, right? Come on. Top 10.
Top 10, top
They're
10, top
not,
10. Top 10. I'll give
They'll
you top
have
10.
guys rotate, but they primarily have Andrew Wiggins on Jason Tatum.
I wouldn't say that. I mean, if here's my problem though, is that like Wiggins probably has the athleticism to keep up with Tatum.
They put him on Luka.
Okay, but he's probably got. Okay, but there's a difference between putting Wiggins on Luka versus Tatum, because Tatum primarily plays the 3 or 4.
He's a slasher, too.
Luka plays
Luka's
point guard, shooting guard,
Luka's
small
a lot
forward.
slower
Yeah,
than
that's
Tatum.
true.
Tatum can.
Draymond's a lot slower.
Draymond can keep
Yeah,
up. With
yeah, but
people.
it's. I think the
Wiggins
difference.
is faster than Draymond.
It's not about that. It's defensive skill.
I would
too.
also say that the reason you could put like a Wiggins on a Luka to try and deter. Okay, first of all, yeah, the reason you try to put Wiggins on Luka would be what? The athleticism, the height difference, like all this stuff. And Luka still averaged 35 on his head.
I was gonna
So
say.
I mean, it's not like they're gonna try and do the same thing with Tatum. It's just, in my opinion, I would just rather.
It's like what LeBron said, just like about Steph. You just gotta try and slow him down.
Right, and in my thing with Draymond too is like, yeah, you miss out on some of the athleticism, but you make up for it in the defensive IQ. Like he would easily be like, okay, I need.
Draymond's been there before too.
Yeah, he's like, I need to force him.
First finals.
Right, he's like, I need to force him this way, or I need him to make sure he does this. I need to force this bad shot. But I don't think Wiggins is thinking about that when he's guarding him, in my opinion. I mean, obviously, like I don't know what's in his head, but like the defensive IQ that Draymond possesses is a lot higher than Andrew Wiggins.
Yeah.
Wiggins hasn't been here before, and I think people need to recognize that. Like Wiggins before this year really hasn't been in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he's
Should be interesting.
He's a weird player.
He is a weird player. So let's do hot takes here.
You want to go first?
No, I need to think about it.
You got one?
I'll stay with my sauce thing. So I wanted to rank sauces this episode. The best sauce out there is probably a pesto sauce, in my opinion,
Pesto sauce.
No.
or a vodka
For-
sauce.
Oh, vodka sauce is fantastic. But so when you're ranking sauces,
So sauce
are you
is
going by like versatility, or is it just by overall taste? Because if it's
versatility and taste.
okay, because
Combination.
if it's versatility, then I wouldn't go with the vodka sauce, because
That's true.
that limits you to pasta,
That's true.
and you would have to, in my opinion,
Yeah,
like
and let's make it clear. I'm putting dressings in here too.
okay, so ranch isn't up there.
Ranch is up there.
Ranch is up there. I feel like ranch could go
Ranch
one.
is a salt. Ranch
I feel like
can go.
I feel like ranch could go one because of the versatility.
agree.
Because you could put ranch on, all types of sandwiches. and have
Chick-fil-A's
it work.
Polynesian sauce is up there.
Mm-hmm.
Cane sauce I don't think is that great.
Yeah, I mean it's definitely an acquired thing.
Yeah, it's good. It's not great.
Yeah, I would say
For me, this is my vibe. Let's go. So we got ranch 1, pesto 2, honey mustard 3.
okay.
Blue cheese 4.
Oh, that's crazy. That is crazy.
Ketchup 5.
Blue cheese over ketchup.
Yeah.
That's nuts. Where's the versatility go there?
Blue cheese,
You're wild.
wings, salad, fries.
I'm going ketchup over blue cheese for that. But that's just me. I also am not a huge blue cheese guy,
Blue cheese is
in my opinion.
Blue cheese gorgonzola. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow. You guys just don't have generated taste buds yet.
I guess. I would say if you're going versatility.
I'm going to say this first. Barbecue sauce, overrated. Ketchup, kind of overrated.
Yeah, well, I feel like ketchup's just been the staple, so it's easy.
Actually,
It's easy to get lost in that.
Mustard, ketchup. Blue cheese is good. Mustard, ketchup. Mustard is up there.
Okay. Yeah, mustard it should probably be up there.
Yeah.
I mean, in my opinion, you gotta go. I think honey mustard is up there for sure.
Love
I think-
mustard, especially
Well,
Culver's.
okay, is mayo a sauce?
Oh, wow. Wow.
It's like a spread, because I feel like it's super thick to be a sauce.
No, it's not a sauce.
It's not a sauce. What would you call it then?
It's a spread.
It's a spread.
It's like peanut butter.
Yeah, I guess with the thickness.
That's
a good analogy because I do think that, like, because mayo, you put that's a staple. You put that on every single sandwich. You put that on every burger. You name me one sandwich you wouldn't put mayo on other than a grilled cheese.
Oh, have you ever had on grilled cheese?
You
on the outside.
Cheese.
No. Never mind. Because if you put it on the bread instead of butter and put that, yep, I know. Yeah, never mind. So yeah, name me a sandwich that mayo doesn't go on.
A burger? Oh wow,
it goes on a burger. I'm just
thinking in my mind how great mayo is.
Yeah, I feel like mayo, if mayo is a sauce, is definitely up there for versatility reasons only.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a really good take. I like that.
JJ, I need to hear yours, bud.
I looked up some
keep thinking
hot take websites.
No, I'm talking about sauces.
Oh, your sauces?
Hot sauce.
Well.
Okay, Tabasco's up there.
Tabasco's pretty good.
Hot sauce is the best sauce.
You ever like Cholula? Yeah, that's good. That's fire.
Tapatio.
Tapatio, wow.
He's got all the brands just loaded up.
Why are you putting your hot sauce on
Texas
though?
He put it on everything. He put it on his pizza the other day.
I love
you
that.
put it on
I
pizza.
love that.
You have to put it on
Shout out Goodfellas in Athens, Ohio. JJ loads his pizza up with hot sauce from there.
Unless someone steals it. You're the worst kind of human if you steal Goodfellas hot sauce.
Yeah, I think I would have probably ranch up there. I would probably say honey mustard. If you're counting mayo, then mayo's probably got to be up there. I would say ketchup is up there. I like burger sauce a lot, or like Thousand Island. Like, I think that's really good. Definitely underrated. Smash sauce from Smash Burger, insane.
Or Sawsome sauce from Wendy's.
Ooh, yeah. I would say those are definitely up there. See, okay, I got my hot take, and it's less of a hot take and more of a recommendation. Because I saw the movie Everything Everywhere All at Once the other day, and I think it's like a top 10 movie I've seen. Like, it's probably not one of my favorite movies.
What kind of movie is it?
See, I don't think it's like my favorite movie.
But what kind of movie is it? I haven't seen it.
So it's like a multiverse movie, but it's like it's not like your typical multiversal, because recently like big multiversal movies have been like sci-fi or, in recent movie history, it's been just
Sci-fi.
Avengers. It's been like superheroes.
Yeah.
So having a multiversal movie kind of deal with stuff that's not necessarily like superheroes and stuff like that, it was kind of cool because it was very interesting. It's like a family relation movie because it's kind of like.
What's it on Netflix?
No, it's in theaters right now, but I think it's coming out to stuff soon. But it's very good. Everything Everywhere All at Once. I don't think it's like one of my favorite movies because I feel like for favorite it would have to be one that you could just sit down and watch whenever. But I do think it's one of the best, like, just quality movies.
That. Your favorite movie is a movie that makes you feel a different way about life after you watch it.
Okay, well then, dude, this movie literally, like, I was like trying not to cry at the end of this movie.
Because a movie that you can
crazy.
watch over and over again, that's like more of a comfort movie.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense.
I feel like a favorite movie should be a movie that changes you.
Okay, so like, yeah,
favorite
I guess that makes sense.
Favorite movie is so subjective. Obviously,
it is very subjective.
Obviously, it's subjective because it's your own personal favorite movie, but it's your own personal favorite movie for your own personal reasons, which so it's subjective on how it's subjective. So like if we want to look at like us three here, like out of the three of us, I'd say Kyle's like the biggest one into like film. I'd say. Just for the example's sake.
Like you're kind of guy.
So like my favorite movie would be a movie with fantastic cinematography.
Like you're the kind of guy that notices like the kind of like camera angle.
Well, dude, I was gonna hit on that. I was gonna hit on that when I was talking about this movie because I think it was one of the best movies I've ever seen. First of all, it was a heartwarming story. It's it's actually pretty funny, and the cinematography is fantastic. Like, because it's a multiversal movie, there's like little jumps between worlds, but they're in the middle of action sequences, so like the seamless just transition to a whole new setting without like while keeping you maintained in the action that's happening was fantastic. So incredibly done. Fantastic movie. I would highly recommend it. I think it's top 10 one of the best movies I've seen. So yeah, that's my hot take, but it's not as much a hot take. Second hot take, Chet Holmgren, welcome to Oklahoma City.
Oh, that's not a hot take.
I mean, it's not a hot take, but
that's the same thing I said last week. Like anything can happen on draft night. So.
That is true. I mean,
I think if he's there at 2, yeah.
If he's there at 2, I would hope. But at the same time, Sam Presti is so
solid.
He's the thing about Sam Presti though is that I go into a draft night as an Oklahoma City Thunder fan, and I think I'm like, I want this guy. But all I know is that whoever he's going to pick, like, because when they drafted Giddey, I didn't, like, in the moment, I was like, oh, my gosh, who do we pick here? Who do we pick here? Like, who is this dude? Who is this dude? But now, like, oh, my gosh, I love Josh Giddey. He is fantastic. And he's just, like, and the thing about Sam Presti is I was like, at first I doubted him after the pick, and I knew I shouldn't have, because I have to have that mindset going into this draft night, because if I just am like, Chet, it's going to be Chet, it's going to be Chet, it's going to be Chet, and it's not, I'm going to initially be disappointed, when in reality, I probably don't know something that he does, because he, when it comes to drafting talent, is a genius.
I don't think this is the kind of draft, though, where you can mess up.
I don't think so.
You may miss out. You can't mess up.
No, I agree with that. I mean, the only way he messes up is if he's picking, like, Jalen Duren at 2. Like, that would be a mess up. But, like, with the top 5 right here, you might miss out, but you're not going to mess up. So, like, if he picks Ivy at 2, like, you're kind of like, well, he probably would have been there at 4, so why didn't you trade down? But at the same time, you're also like, Ivy's going to be good.
Yeah.
Right? So, I agree with that. But, I mean, I hope OKC gets a big. I'll be honest with you. But I at the end of the day, it's whoever Presti drafts is going to be good, and he's going to be solid, and he's going to help the team win. So,
all right, JJ, let's hear it.
I couldn't really find hot takes, but
you don't got anything off the dome?
Off the dome. Or give me something to give a hot take about, and I could go off the dome.
All right.
But let's do best Disney princess. I want to hear this.
The best Disney princess.
Well, is it like the best like
movie,
like princess?
Movie princess.
Oh, movie. I would say
It's Tangled. 100%.
Yes, no chance.
Come on.
It's definitely Tangled.
JJ, you seem like a Mulan guy.
Oh, I actually love Mulan. I can't lie. It's Tangled or Mulan. Actually, no, I'm going Mulan. I have
Aladdin's
to go Mulan.
ahead of Mulan.
But
yeah, Aladdin.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is.
Aladdin's
over
not
Mulan?
really a princess movie.
As a
though.
movie.
Mulan?
As a movie.
Okay,
Aladdin over Mulan. Aladdin
Yes.
the movie over Mulan the movie. Yes.
Not the remakes, the originals.
The
no,
originals.
Of course the originals.
You can't top
Even-
Robin Williams as Genie.
Oh,
You can't top
okay,
that.
we're bringing Robin
Go
Williams.
ahead.
Okay,
try.
yeah.
You can't.
Genie kind of makes that movie, but I would say I would
And Princess and the Frog
I would
is 3.
counter. Oh, that is a good one. I would counter Robin Williams with Genie as with Eddie Murphy as Mushu. I don't think they're on the same level, but in terms of comedic relief,
Nope.
fantastically
Oh,
well done.
yes.
I'm not. I mean,
But,
but I think I'm big on Mulan. I actually think it's Mulan. Probably, I would say as a movie, is probably one of the better Disney, or probably one of the best Disney princess movies in my opinion.
It is.
I mean, because if we're
It's top 5.
if we're going Disney princess movie, do you really count Aladdin?
Jasmine's in it.
Well, I know
but
she's in it, but
she's
it's
not
not
the
like
main
she's not the main
focus.
character. Is what I'm
it's
saying.
called Aladdin. I would agree.
So that's like my kind of thing. Is like at least with like a movie
But if
like
you look
Tangled
up a
and
picture on
Mulan.
Google right now, Disney princesses. Jasmine.
Well, she's
Shore.
on the list, but
yeah.
I mean,
Well,
it would be the
we-
same as.
If we're going Disney princesses, then yeah, she's.
I feel like
but-
there's no other Disney movie in which the princess isn't, or there's no other Disney princess movie in which the princess isn't the main character other than Aladdin, and Aladdin's the only one where the princess isn't the main
I thought
one.
there was one.
Because I'm thinking about it, Snow White was the main character, right? Even
White
Beauty.
Sleeping Beauty was the main character. I genuinely can't think of one in which a Disney princess wasn't the main character for her movie, other than Aladdin.
Yeah.
And so in that sense, I mean, if you're going by Disney princess movies, like it's hard to count that.
I like
you know what I'm
Little
saying?
Mermaid a lot too.
Yeah.
I think that's
I think that's
ahead
good
of Mulan maybe.
I'd probably go Mulan, Tangled, probably 1 or 2 interchangeable. And then if you're counting Aladdin as a Disney princess movie, that's probably right up there in 3. I think they all go different ways. But I just think like Mulan's a fantastic story. And it's also like
But I think the remake of Mulan almost ruins it.
the
I
remake
haven't
of it.
seen it.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
terrible.
the remake of it wasn't made for like nostalgic purposes. Like it was made
Make it
to
more,
like
real
make
or
it
whatever.
more. It was also to make it more like, like realistic and to make it more serious, I guess. All right. Well, you got to take before we sign off.
Kyrie doesn't win another ring.
Wow.
That's a good one. I kind of like
I
it.
don't think KD does either.
Oh, jeez.
Jeez.
Neither one of them.
Jeez.
I don't think either
Scorching
one of them,
hot.
I don't think either one of them win another ring.
JJ, come on now.
Scorching
I
hot to
think
end this
they
podcast.
both
JJ.
retire.
Well, I think the best thing about these hot
Before they win
takes
a ring.
is that
I can see Kyrie retiring as soon as tomorrow. He's the kind of guy who would feel like, hey, I'm done. I don't want to play anymore.
so
KD, no. KD's going to win another one.
I like that hot take. So we'll end it off there.
We're not going to talk about this?
No, the point of the hot takes at the end of the episode is you make them and you can't talk about it. I mean,
like
we
that.
talked about the sauces
All
a little
we
bit,
can talk
but
about it next
we'll
week.
talk about it. And we want to, you know, I like the point of that. It's like you get your hot take off, no rebuttal. I mean, unless you want to elaborate. I kind of like doing the sauce list, and I like the Disney Princess discussion, the Disney Princess discourse.
Go ahead. Tell me why Katie's gonna win another ring.
We would have to put that on
Kevin Durant
Uncorked.
is the best scorer of all time. So he is going to win.
He's
another
not
ring.
winning unless he leaves Brooklyn.
Yes, he's going to live Brooklyn, maybe as soon as this summer.
Welcome back to OKC, Kevin Durant. Glad to have you. Cork it. Book it.
Okay.
Kevin Durant back to OKC. SGA, Giddy, KD, Chet
A
Holmgren.
star is coming to
Okay.
Phoenix.
Oh.
No, he's not going to Phoenix.
I'm not saying him. I said a star.
Who?
I don't know. We'll
I don't know
have
yet.
to see.
We'll see. All right.
I know some stars leaving Phoenix.
No.
Aiden is not a star. Let's leave it at that.
I didn't say 8.
Welcome to OKC, DeAndre Ayton.
Book it.
Book it. All right. Thank you guys for watching. Be sure to tune in for next week's episode and all the Cork It extra content we'll have. Check out our Instagram. Check out our TikTok. Make sure you follow those. Give us some likes. Drop a subscription over here on YouTube. And be in store for some uncorked content on YouTube later this week.
Book it.
Book it. See you guys next week.